All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Money Mindset Podcast. Today, we got my boy Frankie Dades on the podcast. What's going on, brother?
What's up, bro? Thanks for having me back.
Of course, man. Now, the last time we had him on, we were on the Evolution podcast, what we were doing before the Money Mindset, but we switched things up. Now we got things back. So I guess for the new listeners, Frank, if you want to introduce yourself, tell them a little bit about what you do, what you focus on.
All right, so my name's Frankie Dades. I'm originally from Staten Island, New York. Currently, I consider myself a hybrid athlete, so that involves weightlifting and running. I'm currently training for a full marathon at the end of May in Buffalo. I built my platform helping people to motivate themselves, better themselves, and find their potential that they constantly doubt themselves of.
Yeah.
Because that's what I personally did with myself. So I shared my personal journey, and from there took off, and I've been doing that ever since. So I try to promote positivity and, self-love through fitness and bettering yourself in all aspects of life.
I love that. And it's so awesome to see how your growth has been, because you initially blew up on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
And then you wanted to I remember you were working on Instagram a lot more. When we shot that first episode, you were about like 9K.
Yeah.
I checked the other day, it was like over 70K, almost 75K.
About
so
75 right now.
So it's blowing up,
amazing.
man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that just shows, you know what I mean? Everything that we talked about last time, just being consistent. You have a post going out every day, if not two, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not only being consistent, but like staying niche and being very specific to like your goal. Your goal is to inspire people to be their best selves, preaching self-love, because that's something that you advise and you'll talk a little bit more about, that you struggled with, you overcame, you saw the benefits, and now you want to, help others that are struggling with that. So that's awesome, man.
Yeah. Absolutely. To touch on that, like how you said, like that was something you specifically personally struggled with. What was it that allowed you to overcome that fear, maybe the doubt from other people, and really just put out your journey and let other people see what was going on? What like motivated you?
Yeah, so we actually had touched upon that last time. That was like probably the biggest factor that was holding me back, was that like you want to put something out there, and where we're from, like if you do something out of what they consider the norm, you're gonna get looked down upon.
Correct.
So that was always in the back of my head, and I would think a lot and before I posted something, and like that's what I did. I went to the gym. And I was like, I want to post what I want to post. It's me and my Instagram. I'm not posting for you. I'm posting what I do. So I started slowly, and I initially got back pushback from people, and people would comment on pictures or message me my stories like, stop posting so much. Stop posting so much fitness stuff. All you do is post fitness stuff. All you do is work out. And like at first it used to get to me, and like it would bother me, and it would stop me from posting what I wanted. And then I just, I had to talk to myself, and basically said like, I'm trying to post to please these people who they have no effect on my life. They don't, they don't pay my bills. They don't, I don't live with them. They don't affect my life in any way, shape, or form, or my success. If anything, they are affecting my success in the sense of holding me back, because I'm letting their opinions stop me. So I went from this like defensive on that aspect to now offensive. And I would answer and say, okay, don't follow me. Unfollow me. Don't watch it. What are you watching it for? Like, obviously you're clicking on my story to pay attention to it. And then I just cut it. Like I stopped letting their opinions stop what I did, and I continued to post consistently. And then the feedback from people that I was inspiring or helping, or they would message me, and that helped me more, because I was like, all right, so I got through one person. So now that's better than the 5 people who messaged me that they didn't like it. And then that took traction, and then overall, like the positivity that I got back from it was 10 times more than any negativity anybody could say to me. And then that stopped, and I think anybody who didn't enjoy it stopped following me by now. And then there were some that pushed back initially, that have messaged me and like, I see what you were trying to do. Like, I respect it. Like, you're killing it. Now, like, people have, messaged me and said that, and I respect that. But then the people that they don't want to see it, like, I don't I don't want to see your green tea shots at the bar every weekend. You don't want to see me at the gym. Am I messaging you and saying, stop posting green tea shots, stop posting green tea? No, I don't care.
Exactly.
I don't care what you do. That's what you do. I do what I do. And then people would say to me, like, make a fitness account. And I'm like,
No.
like, to try to, and I'm
Exactly.
And I'm like, so let me make another account and then live a double life. Like, I'm going to post on one account my life, but like, this is what I do. That's all, you know what I mean? That is my life. But like, they expect me to I'm going to post my fitness stuff on one account, and then what am I going to post on the other one? I'm going to post this second life that they want to see me, what you want to see me
the
do.
The person they used to know.
Exactly.
They want to see the person they used to know, because those people have not changed or evolved, and you've evolved into a better version of yourself, a more confident and successful version of yourself that has more goal oriented, and they just don't like that. They want to see the old Frankie that they know, so they're hitting you with that negativity. If they mean it or not, they have like a level of jealousy within them, or it's human nature, so they have something within that they're just throwing that hate at you. Knowing it or not knowing it, they're just throwing that hate your way. And again, at the end of the day, like you said it, let them unfollow you. Why? Because that's not your target audience.
Yeah.
If they're not in the gym and they're not pursuing their passion, or they're not pursuing, just to better themselves in any way, shape, or form, then your message doesn't resonate with them, and there's no reason you should be talking to them. You're not directing your message to them. So having them unfollow you is actually a blessing, and that's what's supposed to happen.
Yeah,
they're making your job easy.
I noticed that recently. I've been doing this a lot. Like, there's still some people that I see, like, and I'm not saying like if you follow me, you gotta like every single post that I put up, but like there's ones that just watch they're like the first ones to watch every single story that I put up, but they will never
show you
like
love,
or interact with me or message me. And like, why? And then I started unfollowing people, making them unfollow me, because we knew each other. And it's not personal. It's not like I have anything against you, but like, I knew you at one point in my life. There was a different point in my life. Just because I knew you doesn't mean we need to be connected on social media. Like,
exactly.
You obviously have no interest, or maybe you do. I don't know what it is, but like, you have no interest in what I'm doing, and I personally don't have interest in what you're doing. All you're doing is watching me. So why are we connect? I'd rather not.
100%.
And it's like a hard pill for those people to swallow. Like you said, you're changing, they're staying stagnant. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not evolving at all, and they're just jealous of you. And at the end of the day, like you said, certain people might have given you positive feedback later down the line after giving that negative feedback.
Mm-hmm.
That's always the case.
Yeah.
People are always going to pat you on the back once you made it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because now they want to be connected with somebody that made it, but nobody wants to support the guy that's coming up, because they always are thinking so negatively. They're going to think that you're going to fail. They're going to think that it's not going to work, so they're going to throw hate your way, because they know they don't have the confidence to do it themselves.
Yeah.
So when you're doing it, they're going to throw hate your way. But then when you succeed, they're going to be like, yo, remember me? We were boys.
Yeah, yeah.
That's exactly what it was. I went through the same thing when I was building Positivity Chef, because I was getting a lot of unfollows. I started off with my regular account, and I switched it completely to, like, that's when Instagram was primarily, picture focused. Videos were not even a thing, and they came out and they weren't really being used. And I was just putting up the motivational images, and a lot of people weren't following. I went from like 1,600 on my regular Instagram account to like 1,300. A lot of people unfollow me from there. In the beginning, nobody even knew it was me, so I understand why a lot of people unfollowed. But then when I switched it to me and started being the face of the brand, there was a lot of people that were just unfollowing me that I knew from growing up, and I got confused. I'm like, I'm putting such a positive message out there, like, why are you unfollowing me? And then I realized at the end of the day, that's not who I'm supposed to be talking to. Maybe they're not interested. Maybe they don't like me, or maybe whatever the case may be. I shouldn't even care anymore. I'm gonna stop thinking about it. They shouldn't have any, thought of mine. They shouldn't have any rent in my brain. So I stopped thinking about it, and I started thinking about, okay, who is my target audience? Started looking at marketing books, reading how to lay that out. Fred from Copywriting Secrets, right? Putting that out. Who am I targeting? What is my person? I'm targeting males and females, millennials, sometimes older, sometimes a little bit younger, who are trying to pursue their passion, who are trying to, that need that extra motivation, inspiration, and these things help them. And when I started really doing that, the DMs started coming in. I needed this today.
Yeah.
So many times I put up a random story that I'm at work, and I'm just something on my mind. 3 people, I needed this today. I'm like, yo, that's sick.
And that feeling is amazing. There's no better feeling than providing value and actually helping someone.
Yeah.
And creating a positive impact on their day, or their life, however it may be. But I just think that's so important. And I literally had this conversation with my girlfriend the other day. Like, I don't post much of our content on my personal page, and I just got to get over that hump. And like you said, it's from where we're from.
Yeah.
People have that small mindset. Staten Island's nothing. You know,
14 miles long.
exactly.
It's
What
nothing.
these people have no effect on, and this goes for anyone that's from a small town or wherever they're from. That people have that type of small, narrow-minded. You know, the moment you do something different, they're like, "Oh, this kid's trying to reinvent himself, or this kid's trying to do this. This kid's trying to do that." So what? What
You
does
got
it
to
matter
overcome
to you?
that though, because the thing is, when you start blowing up, I think this is my theory on this. So when you deal with the people that you know and you overcome that leap, it prepares you, because when you go and you get a wider audience, you're always going to have critics. There's probably people commenting on his posts. You know, he's like, listen, you can do it. Get in the gym, just move those weights. There's probably someone commenting like, I can't do it, like, or flipping out on him for no
like,
reason.
your form's wrong, or like something.
You see the comments on
some things and it's crazy. Like the negativity that's out there is insane. Like I'll put the most positive message out there. 90% of it is like people, same thing. I needed that. That's awesome. Like I love this. And then there's like 10% that like find something negative about it, and you just can't let it like can't let it get to you.
I love that though. It's give me that engagement. You're making me you're making my posts get seen by more people that need to be seen. You know what I mean? I'm sorry Instagram showed my video to you. They made a mistake. But thanks for engaging.
The wrong side of the algorithm.
Exactly. They got to sharpen that up. But it's funny though, because we put up videos. You see some of these comments. The other day I put up a video. I'm like, listen, you focus on your money. You know what I mean? Allow you to start earning passive income so you can spend more time with your family, with your loved ones. And that's what, and this guy was like, a bunch of circle talk, bro. Like, you gotta like work. Stop saying this thing. Get to work. And he blocked me. And I'm like, what are you? I literally commented back. Usually I don't answer. I'm like, yo, you clearly didn't watch the video.
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
sometimes I look like I try not to even look, to be honest, just because you don't want to get it wrapped up in that. But like every now and then I'll see it like a comment. And I'm like, I have to answer, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Remember the guy that when I posted the clip of you either on my TikTok or my Instagram, and they came and commented a bunch of nods,
and
you went
told
back
you,
on him.
I was like you're gonna get a lot of like professionals in that aspect. Like,
and that's the thing. Everyone thinks they're a pro. Everyone thinks they're the best at everything. Everyone thinks they know everything. And at the end of the day, most of them know nothing.
They start listing their credentials in the comment. I'm like, all right, so you're not what you're talking about. Like, stop, please.
What did Socrates say? He said, I know one thing, and that is that I know nothing. That's the definition of an open mind. But all these people that are throwing that negativity our way is like, they think they know everything. They can't learn one thing because they know it all. If nobody knows it all, there's stuff getting invented every 5 seconds. Like, there's no way you could know it all about anything. It could be niche specific. Even if somebody has a PhD in a specific area, he's still learning. She's still learning.
Yeah.
So all these closed-minded people around us on Instagram, throwing that hate, throwing that negativity, once you build that tolerance to just get over it, because it's going to come.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's
inevitable. Exactly. But if you don't have the ability to like ignore it and not let that affect you. Remember when we first posted a few videos and there was mad negative comments, people saying random stuff, and it was like in the beginning it annoyed us. Like, we're like, what is this? But building that tolerance and being able to overcome that, you're not going to be able to, do it on a global scale, because you're going to start seeing a lot more of them. Correct. So you got to build that tolerance now. So that's exactly what you're seeing right now. You know what I mean? A lot of people saying a bunch of nonsense, throwing so much hate on a negative, on a positive post when you're putting out a positive message, and it confuses you. Like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
But there's people out there like that. There's negative people. There's nothing you're going to be able to do about it.
Absolutely not. I think it really just goes to show, like I said before, like, people will always look to find the negative, and those types of people will never really go too far in life. They're never really going to succeed. Like, I have such an open mind, and I love the podcast for a reason. I learned something from you, from everyone that we speak to, every single time. There's always something new to learn. Mm-hmm. And the reason I think I enjoy it so much is because not only am I learning, but I'm able to implement different things into my lifestyle. Like something that you might, tell me about in fitness, I might be like, no, next time I'm in the gym, I'm going to try that.
That's what I did.
Or maybe we're talking to someone that does something, maybe finances and business. Like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'm going to look into that. Like,
exactly.
There's always something new to learn, and everyone should be open to learning, because you're never going to really succeed in life if you're just think you always have the right answer. No one has the right answer all the time.
Exactly, not at all. And that's exactly what we did last time we spoke. He gave me a trick about, like, because he never used to like running, and you could tell the story, but never used to like running, figured out he was doing it wrong, and then told me like the right way to do it, go slower, and then it's like mad demoralizing because you're running a 14-minute mile.
Correct.
Well, the other day I ran a 14-minute mile, but I was ready to do another 3 more. And usually after my mile, when I get like 8 minutes, 50 seconds, like, I'm gassed. My heart rate's through the roof. After he gave me that feedback, I'm looking at my Apple Watch, I'm going at a slower pace. I was ready to do 5 miles. So I literally had a conversation with him. He was sitting in your seat, and I implemented it, and now I know how to run better. And that's the beauty of podcasting, but the beauty of, talking to somebody that has specialized knowledge in an area. Correct. And then, downloading that information, implementing in your life, and then now becoming better. We all have, each of us are good at something and somebody is your superior in every aspect. You know what I mean? Whether it's fitness, whether it's finance, whether it's, in medical, whatever, it doesn't matter. Somebody is my superior in every aspect in life. There's something that someone's better than me at. So you have to look at every individual with an open mind, saying, what can I learn from you?
Correct.
Instead of being so negative and putting people down and looking down on them, saying, I'm better than you, I have a higher stature than you, like I make more money than you. None of that shit matters at all. You know what I mean?
And that also goes to show, like, you don't have to agree with what everyone is saying, right? Like, you could always have a difference of opinion, but when you see on social media, either people are always trying to pull out the negative from a positive situation, one, or instead of having a normal, maybe not a disagreement, but a controversial maybe topic, and you have your opinion, I have my opinion, but we could agree to disagree. No, everyone's got to say they're right or push their opinion down your throat, rather than trying to understand where you're coming from and maybe try to alter their opinion or see different aspects of the situation as a whole.
Exactly.
And that's another thing. Like the negative comments, like they're so you could comment on something that you don't agree with and just be like, hey, like, you're doing that wrong, or that doesn't make complete sense, or like just like you said, have a conversation about it and maybe end off agreeing to disagree, but it doesn't have to be like criticizing something about them, trying to bring them down, because not everybody knows everything, and maybe someone learned something in a certain way that's different than you did, and you can maybe help that person just because they're posting it. So you can maybe help them, but most people choose that negativity, and I just don't understand it. It's not
the most powerful thing too, like especially to touch on that type of situation. And maybe if you said to someone like, oh, you're doing that wrong, they might take it negative. Ask a question. Oh, why do you do it that way?
Exactly.
What is your thought process, or what is the reason why you do X, Y, and Z? If you ask questions, it comes across much differently rather than you trying to push something down someone's throat.
Exactly. And it's always, I think it refers back to like people always want to have that feeling of importance. So when they find the ability to like come back and like criticize you, it makes them feel like they're smarter than you and they have a level of intelligence, and it gives them pleasure. Yeah. So when they go to argue, when they go to condemn, when they come to criticize, it gives them like that slight pleasure in like, I'm superior to you in this aspect, because they think that way. So, but they don't realize that nobody's going to receive that feedback well. If they came in, like you said, I mean, like, for example, let's say it's a video of somebody doing a motion, working out, and it's like, can I ask you why you're doing that? Is it you're trying to hit a specific, your muscle in a specific way, or are you just bench pressing, the traditional way? Stopped right there, waited for the question to come back. The way that I look at it is based on, X, Y, and Z, what I read. I actually studied this, this is how I do. Try it out sometime. Now you just help that guy. But these people come in hot. Yo, you look like an idiot. That's not how you're supposed to be doing. You don't even know how to bench. You're never going to do anything. You're never going to be big.
Correct.
Coming in hot. Instead of taking, but nobody wants to take it that helpful way. They always want to come in and criticize because it gives them that pleasure. Like, I'm better than you. I'm smarter than you. And I'm going to make fun of this kid.
I truly just feel bad for people that are like that and have that type of mindset.
That's a individual problem. Like, they obviously feel some type of way about themselves, and it reflects on how they speak to you. That's why you can't take that stuff personally.
Exactly.
Can't take it serious.
It's people's egos that really get in the way. They never want to be wrong. They always want to be right. They think putting you down is going to make them feel better. And that's the whole reason for this, like, whole motivation like you do, and the podcast here, like money mindset, the mindset that you have to have. Like, people, I think, just don't even understand like how important it is, which is why they act that way. Before me and you started talking, and like mentorship program and things along those lines, like there were so many things that I wasn't aware of, but I was so open to learning about them, which is why I received your feedback so well. I have such an open mind. Like, certain things that you might have said, hey, listen, don't do it this way, or do this instead, or all those types of things. Like, there's so much to learn from other people, and just people aren't willing. That's the problem. They're not willing to learn because they think they have all the answers already. Exactly.
It's that ego. You have to have that. You can't have an ego, and like, you can't have that. Just period. Nothing else to say. You can't have an ego, and it's hard. Everybody's born with an ego. Correct. I still have one to a certain degree, because I catch myself sometimes thinking in a certain way, and then I catch it. I'm like, no, you can't think that way. But you have to put that like governance in your mind to like catch yourself. As long as you're aware of it. You got to be aware, because it's everybody. I'm not going to sit here, I don't have an ego, because that's me having an ego saying that I don't have an ego. You know what I mean? So it's like everybody has it, but you have to be aware of it. You have to be aware of all your emotions. Sometimes when you feel like an anger coming up or a jealous coming up, like, why does someone have that and not me? You take that in and say, you know what? Take a step back, feel gratitude. They're on their journey, you're on your journey, you know what I mean? Don't be jealous. And then you have to check yourself.
Exactly.
But these people, it's like a lack of emotional control. That's something I always used to talk about, emotional control, especially in the
biggest thing that's helped me.
I mean, growing up, anger was a thing I had to deal with. I would be younger, I was fighting, I was doing all the dumbest things you could ever imagine, because I had a lack of control on my anger, and I also had a huge ego. And now I'm working to, dial that back, and I've, come a great distance from there. But
And even when you do that, right, and you're trying to better yourself, you're trying to be a better person, and by you doing that, you're treating other people the right way, right? You're still going to get people that are like, what are you, a different person all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Who are you?
no, I have those people.
Of course, I
We
do
all
too.
yeah.
Like I'm bettering myself, which is also bettering you. If you want me to stay angry and now I'm just going to scream at you all the time and get angry and flip out, like that's going to help nothing. But now that I'm helping myself, which is also helping you, why are you so worried about it? Why is it bothering you so much? Because you're not there or you're not able to do those things?
People don't like change.
It all ties into like being scared of or nervous about what people think of you, because those people that are like, oh, you're changing, you're doing this, it's the same people that are too nervous to try to do something else because they're worried about other people criticizing them. So they want to keep you down where they are because they can't leave there, but they see you leaving there and they're like, no, I can't do that. You can't do that either. So they try to bring you down. And a lot of people will work on, they'll take those opinions and from people and it'll stop them in their tracks completely. And then there's the others that they just hurdle over them and keep it moving and become successful. And that's something I always emphasized was you're going to get hated on no matter what you do. You might as well get hated on doing something you love.
Yeah.
Rather than
Facts.
getting hated on doing something someone else wants you to do. For what?
Living other person's life.
Yeah.
You have to
it goes
follow
back
your
into
journey.
living that double life, like you said before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's never really going to work out. You're not going to enjoy what you're doing. That's why they say if you love what you're doing, you're never going to work a day in your life, right?
Exactly.
And it goes for all aspects of life. Like, don't be fake and just be real and true to who you are, and you'll always succeed. Like you said, you stayed with it. You found the niche that really needed your motivation. If you were fake, you would have never blown up. You would have never done this. If you were
People
trying to
sense
live that
that.
double life,
They sense that
Yeah.
fake. They could spot a phony. Like it's just the energy you give off. They know you don't know what you're talking about. They know you don't love it. But when you have that pure passion, when you truly love what you do, first of all, like you said, you'll never work a day in your life. So you're always going to come back, keep going. When you fail, you're going to get back up and keep moving. And when things aren't working, you're going to figure it out. You have that drive. You have that motivation because you love it.
Exactly.
Right. But in addition to that, you're going to start getting good at it because when you spend your time on something, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter who. If I spend my time doing anything, whether it's related to investing, related to podcasting, speaking, anything fitness wise, the more time I spend with it, and if I'm seriously spending on trying to improve, I'm going to get better and better and better. And then you could provide more value to that place.
Absolutely.
So in the fitness space, for example, we could touch on this after. Frankie, you just released your Workout With Me program. I forget the exact name, but now people could pay $1 a month for the first month, like $15 after that to work out with you. And there's so many people, that need that. And where did that come from? You saw that you used to work out, that you didn't like how the way you looked. You started implementing changes, and you always have those throwback, those reels saying, like, look, this is what I wasn't happy. This is me now. And there's so many people out there like, I'm in the place that you are at. Get me to where you are.
Yeah, the amount of messages that I get that say that exactly. I look how you did in that first picture, and I explained to people. A lot of people say like, "Oh, you didn't even look that bad," whatever. And I'm like, it was more of a mental thing than it's just as much mental as it was physical. Like, yeah, I didn't like the way I looked. I wanted to be in better shape, but at the same time, the mentality I had was completely off compared to where I am now. Mentally I needed to change that as well, and that's the first step: is changing the way you think and changing the way you speak to yourself and speak about other things. That's like the hardest part.
Yeah.
Because you could go to the gym and try and work out, but that if you're negative and you speak down on yourself and just have a negative outlook on life, like you're not going to stay consistent with that. You're
Definitely not.
You're going to wind up leaving.
You're going to find every problem with the solution that you're implementing. So you're going to
Exactly.
stop. You're not going to have that consistency it's all about your perspective, right? So if you look at life through a positive lens and you're going to the gym like every day I'm getting better. Maybe at the end of the week you didn't lose a pound, be like, yo, I'm hyped. I got in the gym. I feel good. You know what I mean? The person has a negative outlook. It's like, it's not working for me. It'll never work for me. Like working out doesn't work. I've been eating healthy. Nothing's working. They give up.
Yep.
But in order to be consistent, you have to see it through a positive lens. And that's all about the positive self-talk, the way that you look at yourself, the way that you look at the world. There's two ways to look at every situation.
Yep.
You could be stuck in traffic. There could be somebody going in front of you driving mad slow. And you could look at it through next, I'm going to be late. This fucking guy's
Look
driving
at the other
slow.
day, I missed my bus. I missed my bus stop because I was sending out outreach DMs on Instagram. And I was like, it was only a stop. It was just like, what, a 5-minute walk? And I could have been like, oh, shit, I missed my bus. Like, you're an idiot.
Yeah, it could have ruined your day.
I was like, I got a little walk in. It was nice out. And
Yeah.
the reason I missed it is because I was grinding, sending DMs out to people.
Exactly.
Like, and I was reflecting the other day, thinking about high school. I played football all 4 years. sophomore to senior year, I got hurt every year in the beginning of the season-ending injury. And I could have that outlook, why me? Why does this keep happening? Why this? Why that? But I decided to switch it. And I was the captain my senior year. I knew I was going to do whatever I had to do to push the team to be where they needed to be. I was the best water boy. I did everything to the best of my ability. Why? Because I knew that they needed that leadership, that guidance. And if I was the one that sat back and, kind of just folded on the team, then guess what? If the leader is not able to do and stand up and pick his chin up and keep moving forward, then the rest of the team's going to follow that mindset.
100%.
Well, it's good that you had that mentality then, because me personally, I never had that. And I talk about the negative talk because I lived that.
Mm-hmm.
I would start something and I was looking for that immediate change.
Of course.
And I would be like, no. And I would try to justify, and I believe it. I would justify to myself, I'll never be able to do that because of X, Y, and Z. And I'll never be able to do this because of X, Y, and Z. I'm good where I am. And that's why lately I've been saying a lot, complacency kills, consistency compounds, because complacency will kill your dreams, kill your goals, because you're staying where you are. You'll never move. And you get complacent and comfortable, you're not going to move. You'll stay there. If you may seem happy in the moment, you'll get that relief then, but over time you'll look back and you'll regret that. Consistency compounds. So over time you stay consistent, you will see those changes. And a lot of people don't realize, they want a quick fix and think that it's going to happen overnight, and when it doesn't, they give up. But changing yourself, changing your mind, changing your body takes years and years. It wasn't overnight process for me. I'm still learning. I don't claim to be an expert at anything, but I've been learning since I started taking it completely serious for about 7 years now.
Exactly.
And I'm still not where I want to be, and I think that's good, to never be where you see you want to be.
Yeah, you're never done.
There's always a higher mountain peak to reach. Once you hit the top of one, there's always another one that's taller.
Everybody can continuously improve. Everything can continuously be improved. Once you start shifting your mindset and saying, anything that I'm looking at right now, it could look good, it could be great, but it can be improved. My mindset can be improved. My education, my knowledge can be improved. Once you start thinking of it like that, you're always seeking that advancement, and you'll get to the top, and you'll keep going, and you'll stretch what that peak looks like. You know what I mean? You can't just think of it like, oh, I know I've been working out for 5 years. I know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to read that book. There's a lot of people like that, but you're capping your knowledge. You're capping your potential. Everything can continuously improve.
There's a little off topic, but look at Netflix, right? This whole situation that happened, their stock dropped 38% overnight. The reason it happened is because they're blaming their customers rather than taking a step back on a business perspective and saying, hey, listen, maybe we need to change X, Y, and Z in order to make our business, take a jump in the right direction. They went all the way back down to their 2018 revenue overnight because they said, it's our customer's fault. You're sharing passwords. You're doing that. Blockbuster did the same thing with late fees and charging their customers all these things, and look what happened to Blockbuster.
Yeah.
They shit the bed. You can't always blame the other person. You really just need to take a step back every once in a while, reflect, and see what it is that you could do better to provide more value or to improve the situation.
Exactly, without a doubt. With that being said, we're about to wrap up. Frankie, do you have anything that you want to say to the listeners about, first of all, I want you to talk a little bit about what you do, what you offer from a workout perspective. I think so many people that are listening to this will find value. But any other last words, any other pieces of advice you want to give to the audience?
Always believe in yourself. Don't be that guy that constantly looks at what you've done. Look at what you're going to do. Always look in the future. Don't get caught up on what you've accomplished so far. Take the win and keep moving forward always.
That's it. I love that. With that being said, check out Frankie Date's Instagram account. We're going to put the bio, the link in the bio here, and check out what he's offering, because if you work out with Frankie, trust me, he knows what he's doing. We'll be back next week. Talk soon.